Does this qualify as a hostile takeover? Let's talk about it. Guys, you know you can't make this stuff up. So, former employee Dwayne Thrash says that he was fired, terminated wrongfully because he would not agree to do something nefarious based on some directives from the super mayor and Keith Freeman. Now, the lawsuit itself, it'll take you a little patience to get through it. But remember, knowledge is power. These are conversation pieces that you can share with your children, your grandchildren, your nieces. And since we know that you're already very intelligent and smart, it makes you look even smarter. Hang in there with us, guys. We have some really good information, and he tells it like it is. And of course, everything here today is alleged, unless I am reading directly from the lawsuit or paraphrasing from the lawsuit. Let's get right into it. Well, never say never. Just when we thought that it couldn't get any worse, the self proclaimed Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard has been sued again, with the suit naming the Super Mayor, Keith Freeman, and of course, Thornton Township as the entity. Now, here we go again, wasting precious tax dollars to defend allegations of corruption and abuse of power. Now, despite her best efforts to spin the narrative in her favor, Mayor Henyard's reputation continues to plummet. Every decision she makes seems to dig her deeper into a hole of unscrupulousness, deceit, and mistrust. From hiring unqualified friends to key positions to approving shady contracts with questionable vendors, it appears that that rabbit hole is getting deeper and deeper. And coming up on our next video, guys, you are not going to want to miss this. We're going to talk about the firefighters who have come forward to allege that there's been a compromise of regarding their benefits. So basically, what they're saying, money that's been taken from their paychecks is not going where it should be going, meaning that their benefits for our firefighters are being compromised. Come on, people. We need our firefighters. What's going on? So, we're going to talk about that in the next video. And a quick side note, welcome to Southern Confidential. And if this is your first time tuning into our channel, welcome. And to all of our subscribers, welcome back. Now, we welcome you to subscribe and become a part of the SC family. Just hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Now, back to our story. Okay, so let's get right into the lawsuit. And according to the person bringing the lawsuit, Mr. Dwayne Thrash and his attorney, they are alleging that Mr. Thrash began working for Thornton Township in 2003 as a maintenance manager. He goes on to say that in April 2021, Mr. Thrash was elected to serve as the president of Thornton Township's trustees of schools. Now, we're talking about the school board, right? And with this term, it would have been effective through April 2027. Now, even after winning the township school board position, Mr. Thrash says that he continued to work with Thornton Township as the maintenance manager. So, in other words, he was holding both positions. Okay, so we're going to skip around a bit. I'll just highlight some of the more salient points here. If you have any questions, just hit us up in the comments. We'll be happy to answer them. Okay, so let's move to early April 2023. So Mr. Thrash alleges that he was approached by Freeman about the mayor's plans to take over and to make changes to the township school board, right? Since Andrew Holmes had been elected to the township school board. Whew, oh my, okay. That can't be good. But at any rate, Mr. Thrash says that they had approved an annual $10,000 compensation increase for his role as the maintenance manager to take effect in May of 2023. Now, he also alleges that in early April 2023, that Freeman took him out to breakfast, and he's alleging that they had multiple sessions and meetings for lunches and breakfast, he and Freeman, and they discussed the mayor's plans to make changes to the township's school board panel. So here's where it gets murky. So, according to Mr. Thrash, during one of the meetings, either in late April or early May of 2023, Freeman discussed wanting to bring his preferred, law group. And at the time, that was Delgado Law Group. And you guys remember Delgado Law Group. They were the firm that went public saying that the super mayor was not paying their bills. Okay, so Mr. Thrash says that the goal, now get this, guys, the goal was to terminate Sarah Keller, who was the present and the current attorney. During the meeting, Mr. Thrash says that senior partner Michael Delgado, so I guess we're talking about another meeting where Mr. Delgado was present and apparently said something to the effect of, "Are you going along with it?" And I guess he was meaning, was Mr. Thrash going along with the plan to install Delgado Law Group as the attorney for the township in lieu of the current attorney that they had already, right? So Mr. Thrash alleges that he said that he would give it some thought. Now, remember, guys, lawsuits are built from allegations and not necessarily factual. Lawsuits are allegations, recollections, and then, retrospective accounts of what the plaintiffs bringing the lawsuits believe occurred and how they recall it. So, in essence, what I'm saying is that they can allege anything in a lawsuit, but ultimately it will come down to how strong the facts are during the discovery period, witnesses, how good the attorneys are. And in some cases, it will come down to it just being a business decision. Y'all know what I mean, right? It's cheaper to keep her, that concept. But in legal proceedings, it comes down to how much will you pay? How much do you want to pay for this case? And are you willing to settle out of court to save money? Or maybe you want to set a precedence and you then will take the case to trial and have it heard in front of a jury. Now, I'm not saying that Mr. Thrash's version is inaccurate. Quite frankly, reading over the lawsuit, it seems consistent and his information seems plausible, especially when it involves the super mayor and Keith Freeman. I'm more inclined to believe Mr. Thrash. That's just my opinion. And it's because the super mayor, self-proclaimed super mayor, that is, and Keith Freeman's credibility is completely shot. So I'm going to say that I'm going to probably err on the side of caution and stand with Mr. Thrash, unless there's other information that changes my mind along the way. Now, I just wanted to clarify that lawsuits are plaintiffs' platform to express their grievances and their intentions to sue, right? So Mr. Thrash goes on to say that on or around May 12th, 2023, Freeman posted an unauthorized public notice on the township school board's board, I'm guessing, stating that a special meeting of the township school board meeting will convene on May 15th, 2023. And the following was the agenda. Number one, they would discuss installing of the new township school board trustee, Andrew Holmes. Number two, they would discuss terminating the township school board's relationship with the current attorney, Sarah Keller, in order to appoint Delgado Law Group. And then number three, the removal of the current treasurer and the appointment of a new treasurer. Now, let's move on to Sunday, May 14th, 2023, Mother's Day, right? So Mr. Thrasher alleges that Henyard and Freeman called to see if he was going to attend the special meeting and go along with the plans. So Mr. Thrash says he alleges that he asked Henyard and Freeman if they were going to fire everyone in the office. Like basically, dang, you guys gonna fire everybody? And he went on to say that he advised them that, hey, I can't go along with that. Now, here's the danger in dealing with narcissistic personalities, those who have predatory instincts, right? People who have no business leading others, and people who endeavor to conquer mind control. And that is what Mayor Henyard does. And it also appears that is what Keith Freeman does. Think about it, guys. It's so obnoxious for humans to think that you can, you know, elevate to a level where you're controlling someone's mind. And anytime that they attempt to stand up for themselves, then, it spells trouble for them. Like, think about it. Remember that video? They played it so many times on the news where the news reporter was asking to speak with the super mayor, and Keith Freeman was like, no, that's all you're getting. That's all you're getting. That's all you get. That's all I got for you today. Obnoxious. Just obnoxious. Yes, these are the type people who give their underlings ultimatums. In other words, get on the bus or get pushed under the bus. So the long and short of Mr. Thrash's lawsuit alleges that after he refused to adhere to Henyard and Freeman's corruption, once he returned from a scheduled or approved vacation between May 28th and June 3rd from his position as maintenance manager of Thornton Township, he received a call from Dr. Jerry Weems, who informed him that he had been terminated effective immediately due to, get this, guys, misconduct and insubordination. Now, Mr. Thrash says that Dr. Weems emailed him a copy of the termination letter along with copies of his supposed write-ups that were placed in his personnel file. The notice of the termination stated that on April 28th, Thrash failed to punch in and out appropriately, and that on May 30th, he was disciplined for insubordination and unsatisfactory work performance. Now, according to Mr. Thrash, these write-ups were basically a figment of the mayor and Freeman's imagination. And according to him, they were created while he was on an approved vacation. So he further alleges that he has never seen any of these write-ups, nor was he notified of any existing write-ups. Now that's his take on it. So Mr. Thrash goes on to say that he believes that he has worked hard in integrity. He has earned a good reputation and a professional reputation that he's proud of as a public servant, having worked for Thornton Township for over 20 years. Now, this is interesting that they chose Mr. Thrash. A lot of times, predators will choose people that they believe they can control. Okay, guys, and so we don't need any drama. So let me clarify something. The type of predator that I'm referring to is the type of person that likes to manipulate others to elevate themselves above other people to gain mind control through manipulation, intimidation, and just straight up being a liar. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to clarify that because sometimes YouTube is putting 20 on 10, and sometimes they're just doing the most. You guys know how these things work. Most states are free will states where they can fire you for anything, except they can't fire you for anything that has to do with a protected class, right? So if they don't like your Reeboks, they can fire you. They don't like your weave, they can fire you. If your lashes are too big, they can fire you. If you just come to work early and they just don't like your coffee flavor, instead of going to Starbucks, you went somewhere else, they can fire you. Of course, I'm being facetious. Now, what I'm saying is that, in all seriousness, they can come up with documentation and, scenarios to let you go in most states if they want to, except if it has to do with violating someone's civil rights. So, in other words, unless it's due to a protected class, like they can't fire you because of your race, your gender, your sexual orientation, your religion, your age, all of those things. They cannot fire you or terminate you because of those things. But in most states, they can basically fire you for anything else. Of course, they won't document that. They won't say, I don't like your Reeboks, or who does she think she is? Why is her weave orange? Right? They're not going to say that, of course. They're going to do to people what they did to Mr. Thrash. And that is to go on a witch hunt, right? Because he was not in agreement with the corruption. So Mr. Thrash goes on to say that the notice of termination stated that on April 28th, that Mr. Thrash failed to punch in and out appropriately, and that on May 30th, he was disciplined for insubordination and unsatisfactory work performance. Now, let's stop for a moment. Why, if he was disciplined for insubordination and unsatisfactory work performance, why would you then make him a part of your board? So we know what's going on here. These people need to be stopped. Okay. So according to Mr. Thrash, these write-ups that they're speaking of were supposedly created while he was on an approved vacation. He also says that he had never seen these write-ups before, and he was never notified of any write-up. Mr. Thrash alleges that Mayor Henyard terminated him and others, or anyone that she feel poses a political threat to her public image, her office, or who dare to defy she and Freeman's wishes. Now let's go back a little bit. Threat to her public image. Too late. Sorry, Super Mayor. You don't have to worry about that. That's the wrap, right? It's been flushed into the toilet and it's gone away. We'll never see it again, if you even had a public image to start with. But that is another video altogether. So see, this is why I call it a hostile takeover, right? Okay, so Mr. Thrash is suing for retaliation, denial of due process, retaliatory discharge, conspiracy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Now, this isn't the last you're going to hear about this story. This type of behavior from Mayor Henyard and Freeman and their other underlings, this has been going on since forever, guys. This is nothing new. The sad part about it is, though, that people don't know how to recognize an opportunity when they see one. Like Mayor Henyard, this was not a platform for you to cash in and make this your cash cow. So in essence, what I'm saying is that when you can't or you don't know how to recognize what an opportunity looks like, you just blow it completely, right? You completely blow it. This is an opportunity and a platform for Mayor Henyard to build a legacy, right? For her family, to, build generational wealth, and to let it be a stepping stone to something greater. But instead, you're in the mindset that it's your way or the highway. Get on the bus or I'll push you under the bus. It's really, really sad. And I'm hoping that someone in authority will step up soon and put a stop to the madness. This is absolutely incredulous. And I'm hoping for the people that's in the township and also in the village of Dalton will get some relief from this madness. So thank you so much for tuning in to Southern Confidential. I don't take for granted that you spent time with us today. You could have been anywhere else. So we thank you. And again, if you haven't already, we would love to have you as a part of the SC family. Please hit the subscribe button and that little notification bell so you will receive all notification and updates. And I will see you on the next video.